What is going, guys? My name is Feeds. Welcome back to Feeds Mindset, episode 41 with the wonderful lady, BillyG0at. Billy, how are you? Welcome in.
I'm doing so good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I really appreciate your time being on here. It's just awesome that we've been able to just have the time. You actually took a little bit of time off to be able to do this with me today, so
Mhm.
I definitely appreciate it a lot. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. So, before we get into all the questions about everything, for anybody watching my community, Respawn, whoever else is watching this video, just kind of explain, who you are and what games you play.
Yeah, so essentially, I'm a variety streamer over on Twitch. My main days are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday/Sunday, but I always do bonus streams because if I'm gonna be gaming and my community wants to see it, I'm gonna go live. I usually play shooters. That's like my main games. Can't do them right now, because due to PC issues, but that's being resolved very soon, thanks to my amazing community and my friends that funded a dual PC setup. So like the quality will be even better soon. It'll be insane, actually, like with all the upgrades we have coming. But right now, in the meantime, I'm playing Elden Ring, and it's an interesting experience, but I'm going to do it. It's very different. I'm not meant to be playing this game, but I'm going to give it my whole heart.
Yeah, no, I feel you right there. I downloaded that game. I downloaded Elden Ring, played it for like 3 days, and
It's a lot.
I refunded it. I didn't like it.
It's a lot.
I was
It's a
not a
lot.
fan.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a good game. It's visually very appealing, but it just was not for me.
Yeah.
It was
It's a
too
beautiful game.
too much
But it
for
takes a
me.
lot of patience. A lot of patience.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't even get past like the second part where I'm just trying to walk down some stairs and I've run into whoever the dude is. I just kept
Oh,
dying over and
God.
over. But it was ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, just like we were kind of talking a little bit before during this, your community is insane. I've only known you for a little bit long. This podcast isn't about Respawn and Respawn products. If you don't know, there's a
Yeah.
Recruits Invitational going on that me and Billy are a part of. It's not really about that, but it's what brought us together. So that's definitely a big factor, and I'm very grateful to them. And of course, just like I said, Billy, again, just for being able to be here and hang out. It's just a great time, and it's just awesome to be able to just kind of do this kind of stuff. But yeah, and just like I was saying before, we started. I mean, your community is insane. I mean, you wear costumes and you have Despicable Me stuff constantly popping up and all the little funny things.
They're a lot.
Yeah, it's very interactive, but it's really
They're
cool.
great. Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's mind blowing, because we were talking about, you've not been streaming for too long, and you've just really rapidly grown, and it's just so wholesome to see the community that you've built, and they're just with you. I mean, I've only been able to pop by 3 or 4 times, but every time I'm in there, there's just so much in there, and they're going crazy.
I literally call them
awesome.
my little gremlins. They're like my little gremlins that they have no chill. They're always, even like for cozy days where I'm like, I'm sick, I just want to chill. They don't let me. They make sure that if I can't bring the hype on a random day, which usually I'm like super loud and like very just myself, if I like have a day where I'm off, they make sure that they pick up the hype and make me feel better.
Yeah, and I mean that's very important. Having a community like that is just it's something priceless. It's something you can't put a price tag on. So for sure.
100%.
But I'm excited to get to know you, and I'm sure your community that's tapping in would probably be excited to get to know you too. So let's kind of go ahead and get into this. So kind of take me through, not really like your childhood per se, but as a kid growing up and getting into gaming, how did you kind of understand this space and get into gaming?
Honestly, big part of it is gonna be the fact that I'm single mom, working like 3 jobs, super busy all the time. I used to be like a super outdoorsy kid, and then as you get older, like I'm in like the cusp of like millennial, to where it's like it's when you're growing up and it's like it goes from you can ride your bike for hours to all of a sudden it was like a random turn of being like it's not safe anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not safe to let your kids out, or like people are being weird. So my mom turned to, I'm gonna get her I'm gonna get her a Wii. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give her a Switch, Nintendo, like something like keep her safe, because I was also like as a child like too outgoing, to where
Mm-hmm.
it's like I trusted everybody. Like I would literally go up to random neighbors' doors and knock and be like, "Do you have kids?" Which is probably not safe.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's
probably
not
not the
safe.
best option. Yeah, especially like the years that I was growing up and all the awful stuff that was going around in the
Yeah.
world. And so my mom was like, "Okay, we need to keep her inside. Like she's too outgoing and she's too trusting." So she would just give me video games and feed it to me. Like I grew up on Nintendo, like this like game, or what is it called? What's it called? The
GameCube.
box. Game, no, yeah, GameCube, like with
Mm.
GameCube and everything. And it was just like my way to like do my thing, and it was cheaper for my mom than reading the hundreds of books I would also read.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I was just a kid with a big imagination, and since you couldn't be home a lot, it's almost like I was like probably not the best to say, but I was basically like babysitting myself
Yeah.
because ever since I was little, I was one of those gamers to where I would wake up, play a video game. I'd play it from 7 a.m. to like 3 a.m. because she was always working and stuff. And it became a habit and a hobby. And now I'm just addicted to PC gaming. So that's like the
Yeah.
new thing.
So how did you get into PC gaming? Where was the console generation
Oh,
at for you
God.
before you transitioned?
For me was honest like I've only been playing on PC since like December of like last year. So not this
Hmm.
past December,
Right.
like this like I got the PC like Christmas of 2022 and then got it all set up. But I kind of as soon as I had it, it was done. Like it was like, all right, PC's it. Because I was
Yeah.
an Xbox or PlayStation, like Final Fantasy girl growing up. And now I'm hooked. Now it's like you can play any game you want on
Yeah.
PC. I don't have to have an Xbox. I don't have to have this. I don't have to have that. And
Yeah.
it's better and it's easier to also just like hang out with my friends on PC because everyone's on PC now
Yeah. And
or
I think
Discord.
that's a
Yeah.
very common question I get asked too. I'll be like, "Oh, like I'll play this on Steam." Like, "Oh, is that on Xbox?" Like, no. And they're like, "Oh, like how much is a subscription to play Steam?" And I was like, there's no subscription."
Yeah.
They're like, "What? What?" So it's kind of
Yeah.
like it's wowing, for console players that haven't crossed paths with the PC world. So I kind of want
Mhm.
to ask that question since we're on that topic. For other people out there that haven't experienced PC, what was that experience like for you, being able to be on PC for your first time and understand the whole different world that's in a PC?
Yeah, it's so sick. And I remember for the longest time, like 'cause my husband, he's like COD like tournament since he was like 14 type of guy. And for the longest time, he was like, I don't want a PC. I don't need a PC. Da, 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 da. Finally, we got him a PC. It's like he hasn't touched his Xbox. He hasn't touched his PlayStation, like his PS5. Like we have every console known to man, but it's like we're both like we wake up, we're on our PCs. Like it's like
Yeah.
if he's not working, he's on his PC. Like it's one of those things where it's like you really push it back, I feel like a lot until you
Mhm.
get one and you're like, this is everything. Like I literally could be grinding my video game, have a YouTube video, being watching Netflix, being in Discord call at the same time, have Discord movie nights. Like there's so much of a bigger world. It's a huge investment. Like of
Yeah.
course, like consoles are expensive, but like even a decent PC like that lasts is still gonna be like $1,300
Right.
minimum, and that's like really scratching it, hoping it lasts type of cost. But it can be super. It's an expensive hobby. Like it's
Yeah.
having being a PC person. Like you want different keyboards, different mice. Like it's different than replacing like just a controller that you can
Yeah.
just buy. It's definitely
Definitely.
different.
Well, so for people that are possibly watching that are on console and that haven't experienced PC,
Mhm.
what would your advice be? Like, do you think that would be a good decision for them if they could afford to do it? Do you think that's something you would recommend?
Oh, 100%. Like it's one of those things where even back when I was still like playing games online with my friends and using like my laptop for Discord or things like that, like not only is it better for like quality of like games and stuff, but like
Hmm.
once you have a PC, especially if like you watch Twitch streams and stuff like that, or like you stream yourself, but you get to know people so much more on a personal level once you step into that PC world. So it's like
Yeah.
not only is it good because yeah, it's like more fun, you're like blah blah, blah like it's exciting, but you really get to like cross that barrier of like
Yeah.
it's not just an online friend, like this is your IRL friend, they just happen to be
Yeah.
in a computer.
Yeah. And you
And I
can
feel
like
like
relate to
it's
them
that
more.
social aspect. Yeah, and like I think your social game really is a lot better with your friends that you meet online once you have a PC, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that, and that's kinda the same thing, just like you said, that's a very, very common question is how much is it for a PC? Is this a
A
good
lot.
PC? Is this good specs? Blah, 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 and I would say that's probably about right about $1,200,
Mhm.
at a technical standpoint. I would say at that, like with mine, I spent like $2,200, but I custom built mine, so I put in all my parts and
Yeah.
everything. If you're buying a pre-built, you need, in my honest opinion, you need to buy like $1,600, $1,700 because anytime you
Yeah.
buy a pre-built, at least $400 is just going straight to the company for building the thing for you. Like the rest of the
Yeah.
parts that you're paying for is like a standard stock PC. But it's a very common misconception, and there's a lot of people that gets into PCs and don't really understand a lot about them. You don't really have to know a lot about PCs, but I would definitely recommend some type of connection. Like with me personally, like I built my PC and I'm very knowledgeable now, but there's a buddy, his name's Wizzy, and he lives in Belgium, and he's one of my really good friends. I've known him for a couple of years, and if it wasn't for him, I would have never been able to build. I have the same PC that we're on right now. I wouldn't have been able to build it if it wasn't for him sitting in Discord for 6-7 hours, talking me through everything. And he showed me a video, and I followed almost everything. But then when it got to the wires of plugging in all the pins and stuff, I couldn't. It was too small, and I couldn't read like the distinctive like what cord goes into what. And so he had to help me with that. And he was like, "Move closer," and I'd be sitting here like, "Right there, it's right there, it's that one."
Like, is it this one?
Yeah,
it's worse too when like you have to go in like the BIOS and stuff, and you're like on your phone in a Discord call trying to fix it. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's really annoying, but I would say like it's annoying, but if you can get past the day of building it, like it's smooth after the fact. Like it's just it's a different feeling that like you'll never be able to experience until you're there. So I always highly recommend if you do genuinely have the money or even payments on it. Like there's some people that take out loans just to build their own PC, and that's fine. I would much rather take out a loan than buy a PC right out from a company and then pay them payments on top of the crappy quality parts that are in it.
It depends, honestly, because like just to like touch on that, like there's a lot of companies who. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you because the brands pay them, like, it's literally like, I'm not gonna name one, but there is specifically a company that will literally charge you, like, what they pay, and they still give you a discount on it just because they have a partnership. So it's like, they get paid by the companies who make the parts to make the PC, but there are also other companies I'm not gonna name that they charge out the wazoo. Like, they put $2,000 on top of what they're doing, and you're like, "You're scamming people," and it's just there's so much into that, but it's like there are trustworthy companies that literally give you discounts on what they paid. Like, they almost, like, take a loss because of the recognition because there's other PCs that they make profit on, but for example, like, my PC, it should have been a $3,000 PC. Got it for 2,100, and like the parts itself were $3,000 at the time. And like if I would have bought myself, I would have and built it myself, it would have been $600 extra than if I just did it. So like, it's a hit or miss, but you can't just go into be like, oh, this is a well-known company, I'm just gonna spend the money, take out the loan because they work with Afterpay or whatever. Like that's when it really messes you up when you buy a $6,000 PC that's really 2,800 in parts, but they make it look pretty.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
There's pros and cons, 100%.
Yeah, and I would say like for my question, I guess it was a little bit misleading because like the stigma for PC buying is like Walmart and like Best Buy and stuff like that, and so that's so that's kind of like that's because I see a lot, especially Best Buy. Best Buy is probably one of the top ones that I always hear, and I've had tons of people DM me be like, "Hey, is this good parts?" I'm like, "Why are you even on that website? Like, get off that website."
No, that's awful. No.
But before we talk about streaming and everything, was there, as you was gaming and growing up and now you're in the PC world, is there any like games that really hit home for you? Any games that meant a lot that you played a lot of time or that kind of taught you some cool lessons playing in?
Yeah, 100%. I think the main thing for me is Zelda. I feel like every little kid that grew up in like the 90s or like late 90s to like early 2000s, like Zelda was the game growing up. After that, it's Final Fantasy. So like Zelda and Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, those were like, they're still like my heart and soul, but it's like they're like really what got me into gaming, like hooked me 100%. That I still go back and play those same games that I started playing when I was like 7. Just for the nostalgia, and especially they're doing so many remakes with them, like it really takes me back home every single time that they come out with one of those.
Yeah, and that's what I always give it a lot of advice because, like, when I'll have these conversations or other conversations, like, oh, I love this game, like, it was great. And it was like, oh, how long does it play? And it was like, oh, it's been years since I've played that game. And it's like, why don't you do a Let's Play on it? Like, clearly you're happy about the game. Like, why not throw a video on it and stuff? And it's very interesting that you said Final Fantasy. That's one I don't really hear a lot. And Final Fantasy is one of my favorite genres or, whatever. I can't think of like the wording of it, but Final Fantasy 12 is my favorite game of all time.
Nice.
And it was a really good game that got me through some hard times for sure. But that it'll always hold a place in my heart, and it taught me a ton of stuff. I mean, I probably have a couple thousand hours in that game.
Yeah, for me, mine would be like Zelda Twilight Princess on the
Hmm.
Wii specifically. That one, and then Final Fantasy X-2 is
Hmm.
like my like bread and butter that I
Yeah.
could think of.
Yeah, that's sick. And I remember back when COVID was happening, that's when I don't know like what the time frame was, but like when Pokemon started having this huge drive and
Hmm.
PSAs and pristine condition stuff. I seen all the time the Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess in like the casings, and it would be like rank 10. It would be for like thousands of dollars and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
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 so
crazy.
expensive. All I want them to do is just even if it was an emulator, just give me Twilight Princess, and they won't do it. And I'm like, you know
Yeah.
you want to. You know you would make money. Like it's like one of the best ones, just do it. Like, but they
Yeah.
won't do it. I don't know why. And I don't want to buy
Yeah.
a Wii. Like,
Yeah,
or
I
like a
definitely
Nintendo
understand
DS.
that.
It's different. It's different.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand, and I think that's kind of the as PC gamers we get a little bit spoiled because there are people out there that genuinely miss the feel of like the old graphics and stuff. But
Yeah.
like me personally, it don't bother me that much. I just like being able to play the game because I know that's the objective that really caught me on beforehand. But I fully understand people that are really into it and like the old graphics and the old school. Like I definitely
Mhm.
understand that. But me personally, I don't care about that much stuff.
Mhm.
But do you care about that kind of stuff?
I mean, like if it's like a replay of a game from when I was little, like if it's like better graphics or lower graphics,
Mm-hmm.
no, just give me the game. I
Yeah.
don't care. Give me the game,
Yeah.
and they won't. Like,
They
there's some
still
games that
won't.
they won't give you, and I'm
My
like, there's
opinion
certain
doesn't
ones
even
I
matter.
want. Yeah, I'm like, just give me the game. Like, that's all
Yeah.
I want.
That's funny. Yeah, but it'd be nice. There's a lot of games. I mean, even something simple like Call of Duty. Like if they were to remaster Black Ops 2, I mean, it would just break the scene. There's
Yeah, there's a
there's
lot of
just
people who want that.
certain games out there that and I wonder if it's just like a part of the whole like Illuminati plan to like this is when it's all going to happen and invest in
It's like a
these
time
stocks and we're going to rise
capsule.
up.
Yeah, probably. It's like whenever everything hits the fan, like this is like our backfall to make sure
Yeah.
the company doesn't crash in
Yeah.
bankruptcy.
Yeah, I could definitely see
But
that happen with like Rockstar Games. They get into some big trouble and they're like, hey, by the way, here's GTA 6. You guys have been waiting on it for a
yeah,
long time.
every single time.
Yeah. So it'd be a good little way to get out of controversy, I guess. It's a weird
Mhm.
game plan, but it could work.
True.
So yeah, so we've talked a lot about gaming and stuff. So take me through the aspect of streaming now. I know you kind of told me that you've not really been
Yeah.
streaming for a long time, but what made you get into streaming? And obviously, it's still currently something that you do today. So just
Mhm.
kind of take me through that background of how you started and how you got into it. Was Twitch the first place you streamed on? How did all that go?
Yeah, Twitch was definitely the first place I streamed on, and it was one of those things to where I was working, like, kid you not, 16-hour days, 7 days a week, and I took a day off, and I've been bullied, or at the time I was bullied by so many friends being like, "You should do it, like, you'd be so good at it," that I've never even talked to in person. It's just from
Yeah,
like typing in
just
little
gaming.
Twitch
Yeah.
chats, just like watching streams that I like, and the main one was like one of my friends, Sibel, like it was her and another friend that I'm really good friends with now that I never would have thought of in the like in the past, but it's like Winnie the Pooh, and like both of them were like, "You should try, like just do it, just go live." But honestly, like it was all to friends, and I'm very blessed in the point that I got affiliate very, very quickly, even though it was only through like the 3 streams that I needed, all because someone randomly followed me. That whenever they were pushing me or trying to tell me to stream, someone followed me. They saw I was live. It was a day off. I was trying to do a test stream, and then got rated. And it's like then all of a sudden, all my friends were there that I had made. They were all also that I was a guy because my name's Billy, and they were like shook. I was like a girl 'cause I never, like, corrected them. They would say
Yeah.
"dude," and I'm like, "I call people dude regardless." So, like,
Yeah.
I didn't really care because I didn't really see it going anywhere. Like, it was, like, a really, like, crappy 10-year-old webcam that I had and, like, a snowball, like, mic that I randomly found in a drawer with, like, my crappy laptop that was dying. Like, it was and I played on my Xbox. Like, it was none of this should have happened,
Yeah.
and because I did work literally 7 days a week for a very good company, in sales and stuff, like, I barely streamed, then I had a really bad car accident about months later, about, like, October, I believe October of 2022. I had a really bad car accident, and I worked in the car industry, and it was one of those things where it's like, it was so bad that, like, I should not have walked away from it, and a lot of other surgeries happened, and, like, how life happens, it gets kinda crazy, and
Mhm.
you're like I did talk to my spouse and be like, I just I need a break from work. We have
Mhm.
savings. I need a break." And randomly kind of started picking up, streamed once or twice, did things, and then all of a sudden on my birthday, I was like, I'm gonna have a birthday subathon because everyone convinced me it's your birthday, have a subathon. And it's kind of like that's when the day clicked that it was like people actually like watching me.
Yeah.
Because it's like even though it's like it was all my friends and a lot of my viewers would literally be like my 3 mods, they were my 3 best friends. They were the only people watching. But for my birthday, it's like everyone kind of came together in the end of May. And that's kind of when it clicked. And I was like, why am I not doing this?
Yeah.
Like they literally kept me live for so long. They obviously want me to be here. Why not just give it my all? Like I have a PC, I got it for Christmas. Instead of just playing for games or like streaming randomly, I'm not doing anything right now. Like might as well try. And then my
Yeah.
husband was like, screw it. Like I remember him being like, well, you're getting a part-time job finally again. Like if you have like he gave me like something like if you have this goal by this time, I'll trust you leaving the part-time job, even though it's just
Yeah.
for me to get out of the house and stuff and be
Yeah.
social. Like one of those things where it's like, if this happens, go full time. And I kid you not, the next month it's hard to like explain. I don't know how it happened. Maybe it's only up, but I went from literally like 5 average viewers to 150
Mm-hmm.
within like 30 days. And even after I beat only up and everything settled, I was still sitting at a very comfortable place and my community just kept growing and I just said, fuck it. I'm gonna go full time in July and left the job. Was only there for like 2 months. Like
Yeah.
I literally like started on my birthday and like when I got the part-time job, it all just kind of happened how it should.
Yeah.
And I never took it for granted. I just went with it. Went full time, streamed a shit ton. I streamed like 1,000 hours in like 6 months, like or less.
Yeah.
And then I moved to San Diego, and it it's a weird story because like I always tell people I've never thought I would be a streamer. I wasn't supposed to be a streamer, but I'm very happy and grateful for what I have. Like honestly, if I never got bigger, I don't even need to. I'm just grateful to have what I have and
Yeah.
the short time. But I mean, it's everyone's goal is to grow.
Yeah.
But I just like going live, playing the games, having my besties there, my little gremlins there, and then chilling.
Yeah.
Like I don't see what's wrong with doing that and not wanting to be like I don't want to be like I don't want to be the next Sweet Tails. I just want to be happy and like know
Right.
every single person that's in my chat and like I can see every single person that's in there and know almost like everything about them because we do have the talks and we do get to know each other and know a lot about me, a lot about my spouse, and I'm very grateful for that. And I hope no matter what happens, I can still have that closeness and that inclusivity that they feel that they're in a family no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah.
like where I'm at,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, I definitely understand. I think, that's kind of the beauty of it, because when you have that type of mindset, that's the mindset of creators that need to be on that platform. And I don't mean this in a rude way at all, but I think you should stop saying that you wasn't supposed to be a streamer because I think you should have been because
Yeah.
clearly you're making a huge change. You're making an impact. You're affecting in a good way, you're affecting people's mental health, and they're excited to show up for you, and they're excited to see you dance in your little silly costumes and put your elf ears on and have a great time. It
Yeah.
means a lot to them, and it changes people's day. So I think it's important for you to kind of switch up your mental mindset and understand that, yeah, you wasn't supposed to be the streamer, but now that you are, I know that you're proud of it, but take pride in it, because just like I said, I guarantee you, that's something I preach and talk about a lot on my podcast and just in general. There's so many lives that nobody knows what you're impacting, who you're impacting, what's going on. And I guarantee with all your success and all your growth that you've had, I guarantee there's many of lives that you've changed. And I guarantee you don't know a single one of them yet. I mean, you could have saved lives, could have saved situations, whatever the case may be. So I think it's important that you understand. I know that you know the change that you're making, but I would just say switch your mindset because I think that people believed in you at a time where you didn't believe in you. And I think that's
100%.
something that always, of course, keeps you grateful, but that's your drive and motivation. And yeah, you don't want to be the next big streamer, but at the same time, it's that kind of mindset that deserves to
Yeah.
be on that, because you want to be a role model and show other people that they can do it too. And in my opinion, I've not known you for that long, but I mean, hell, you're the perfect example, honestly. And I'm not trying to like
Thanks.
light you up, and I'm not trying to like
Like,
say all these
thanks.
nice things, but like I'm being serious, because there
Yeah.
needs to be a lot more positive in this community. There's a lot of negativityness and
Mhm.
snakes and people that are for bad
Yeah,
intentions and
there's a lot of
follow for
people like
follows
you're
and
like
stuff.
competition, dude. It's not. I feel like what a lot of people don't realize is like it's not. I feel like so many streamers like try to stream nowadays, and like I think like I know I mentioned Sweet Tail a second ago, but like Sweet Tail's even mentioned herself. Like so many people are trying to start streaming now, and like it's the hardest time to
Hmm.
grow. Like if almost every single person that watches Twitch, probably someone's tried to stream at least once or twice,
Yeah.
or at least thought about it, or or it's a dream to one day try. And there's a lot of people who see other streamers like competition, but it's like, dude, there's so many people on this platform, dog. Like, if you see every single person like competition, like one, you're not making true friendships, and then two, like, what are you doing it for the right reason?
Yeah.
Like, it's
100%.
there's so many questions there, and I just feel like with how hard it is to grow, like
Yeah.
just go live, go like treat everyone like your friend, like because they are there. If they're watching you, they're your friend now. They're family. Like whether they're a troll or not a troll, like some of them are friendly trolls, but
Yeah.
it's like they're family. Protect your space, like, and don't see anything as like a view. Like I think that's the biggest thing people don't realize.
Yeah, yeah, that and a lot of people just they just kind of forgot their purpose. There's a lot of people that get
Yeah,
caught up and oh, they're not growing, or oh, their TikToks aren't blowing off, or oh, nobody's rating them, or oh, nobody's checking in. Oh, why would I
yeah.
stream for 4 hours just to talk to nobody? It's like, if you stay
You
in that
never know.
mindset, you're going to stay in that position. And
Yeah.
that's
Well, it's like one of my best friends, I literally met her at it was like a random once a month stream at 3 a.m. And I was playing Stardew to like literally it was like three people watching. It was like my friend that I had made and like one of my like longtime friends that I had known before I ever started streaming, and then a mod.
Mhm.
And it was like 3 a.m. and we met. I was randomly playing Stardew to literally three people, and she's like one of my best friends now.
Yeah,
Like we play games and like you never know. Like it's one of those things where it's like, so what if there's three people watching? Like those are three real people that are watching, and like you can become friends with them and like take advantage of it. Same thing with like TikToks. Yeah, okay, 200 people see it. That's still 200 people. Like
yeah,
post a YouTube video, you get like 3 views, and
yeah,
like if you're like a brand new channel, but it's like or you'll blow up, but it's like that's still 200 random people that saw you on their For You page. Like that's an opportunity, and
yeah.
people just see it as like a number, and it's like, dude, that's still real people that saw your stuff, and if they like it, they're gonna come.
Yeah, and
Like
that's why it's so important to
crazy.
be as positive as you can. Even if you've had a bad day or whatever. Like at the end of the day,
Mhm.
like, and again, I say this in the most non-rudest way I can, but you're the one that's clicking start streaming. You're starting
Yeah,
that ball rolling, so you have to be in a positive energy, because you don't know who you're talking to. It could be the next
yeah.
opportunity, could be the next best friend, could be whatever else. And like another one, but two of my close friends that I've gotten really close with, especially over this past year, they're called Blake and Devon, and I actually went and met them like 2-3 months ago. And we went
Mhm.
to, I'm not going to call it the state where they live, but I went and met them for like a weekend. Me and my fiance did,
Yeah,
and it was a great time. It was awesome, and I would never guess that I would be in that position if it wasn't for gaming and streaming and connecting and just
100%.
being in Discord calls with them when they needed me and when I needed them, or they needed an opinion on a video. Like, the little things all add up, and you
Yeah,
have to realize it in the beginning. Otherwise, there's never going to be an end. If you treat it in the negative
yeah.
starting out, then there's never going to be a positive if you start in a negative
No.
way.
Mm-mm, absolutely not. And that's why it's like all my friends are like they will message me now because it's like people have found out from like growing up and stuff. They're like, oh, like do you have tips on streaming and all these things? It's like honestly, like just be yourself. If you're yourself and people like you and you actually put like, your heart and soul in your content. Like people will find you. Well, it might take time. Sometimes it's quicker than others, but like everyone has their moment if they give it their heart and they actually are trying to like be nice and like make friends and like be genuine. But there's so many people that go live and they don't even like talk to their chat, or like they're not even talking, like they're not creating conversation. It's like I get like you don't even have to try that hard. Like there's bots nowadays to ask questions that you can answer. Like if you're not good at creating topics, like there's so many ways to get creative that people miss, and they can miss those opportunities to create those friendships from when they have one viewer to no matter what size they get.
Right.
That for example, like I'm going to Boston soon, like me and my husband to literally meet our best friends that we only met because of Twitch, like and like or Kick or like socials, like you
Right.
never know what it can turn into. Like be nice to everybody. Even if they're
Yeah.
kind of weird at first, just let them be weird. Well, unless like they're gross, of course, but like
Yeah.
let them be themselves and then if you like it, you like it.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's the same thing, like I've said this a couple of times, and a couple of people like roll their eyes at this analogy, but with Jinxie, like obviously a lot of people have heard it over and over. Jinxie streamed to one person for a whole year, and it's that
Yeah.
term has been referenced a lot, and a lot of people roll their eyes. But the same people that roll their eyes at that are the
True.
same that are
So true,
streamed for
though.
2 or 3 months, and they're like, "Oh, I'm done." It's like Jinxie did it for a
Yeah,
year. Like, why are
no.
you done in 2 or 3 months? So it's a really good analogy to be motivated because everybody's looking to blow up tomorrow, and the sad reality is it's hardly ever going to happen unless if you get really, really lucky or you're just really skilled and the right person sees you at the right time. Other than that,
Yeah.
everything you do depends on you. It doesn't matter how good you edit the videos or how skilled you are at the clips that you hit. It matters about you, and that's definitely the biggest misconception that I think, at least personally, that I see a lot. Is a lot of people take out the personality of their clips, and then they get upset why their skills not getting them going places.
Yeah, or I feel like the biggest thing that I've learned recently is because people talk for the longest time, it's like, oh, you have to go viral on this. You have to have millions of followers here to like do this. And I'm like, dude, I don't think you realize like if you actually look at all the people that they might have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, but when you go to their lives, like it's a different skill set. Editing your trick shots, like cool, like you might become TikTok famous because or have 500,000 whatever
Mm-hmm.
followers on TikTok. But like having a live personality, like a entertaining on-screen live, people watching you, creating conversation, that's a whole different skill set than editing clips. Like that's
Right.
why there's so many YouTubers that have millions of followers, but if you ever see them live on either YouTube or Twitch, they go from having 4 million followers on YouTube to announcing that they're live on their socials, having like looking in the scale,
Mm-hmm.
having like 50-ish people watching
Right.
them. And which is still amazing. That's still
Right.
50
Of
freaking
course.
people. But people always think that, oh, I need to go live on TikTok and then I'll be famous on Twitch. And I'm like, doesn't
Yeah.
work like that, dog. It's different skill sets. You can do your trick shot, but are you entertaining before you do the trick shot? Or are you just hoping people only stay to hope you hit another trick shot?
Yeah.
Like it's just different. Like I don't watch people for trick shots. I really don't.
Right.
If they're funny, I'll watch them. People have their own things, but it's like people rely on going viral too much and it's a different skill set. You can edit things really cool, but if you're not entertaining live, work on it or just stick to making YouTube videos. That's what you're better at more. Like there's
Yeah.
different things. Like I suck at editing YouTube videos. I'm awful. That's why I'm not big on YouTube and why I don't put my energy there. I put my energy into like being live and creating clips that I then turn to TikToks and like but my main focus is live because like that's
Right.
my community, that's my people. Like and I feel like people forget about that one aspect is those are your people. Like prioritize on it and treat them like people instead of just views on TikTok. It's crazy
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, and I mean
Like it
that's
gets my blood boiling. Like
I mean, I
can't
just
believe
said,
you do that.
using the term, misconception, I think that's kind of another thing to it. It's like, yeah, like your videos can blow up and they can do well and stuff, but if you were to be put in the perspective, would you rather build a live community that's expecting to see you tomorrow, or would you rather really focus and take time away from them on a
Yeah.
video that may
All
not even
different
blow
things.
up? And that's the thing is like that's how it deteriorates and demotivates creators, and then they get caught in their
Mhm.
spill of, oh, nobody likes me, nobody interests me, and it's just because they're focusing on the wrong things. And this space is really hard to
Mhm.
understand. It's hard to know what you're supposed to
Yeah.
do, what you're supposed to edit, what
What were your
tags you're
best
supposed to
at?
use, what times you're going to upload at, what times you're going to live stream at. There's a lot of complications with it, but that's the beauty of it. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own schedules. Some people are live in the morning, some people are live at night. Sometimes people can be live once a week and then they'll throw some YouTube videos here and there. Like everybody's
Mhm.
situation is different, so you can only make the best of the situation that you're given, and you can't be mad that that's your situation. That's just your situation.
Yeah, or just know what you're just realize what you're best at. Usually it's the thing that you enjoy most that you are best at, and
Hmm.
people think too much about the ladders, but even if it takes you 6 months to realize what you're best at and trying different things, like, I don't see why not.
Yeah,
Like, give yourself space, give yourself grace and time. Like, it's gonna happen to everybody eventually if it's meant to be.
definitely. Yeah, I fully agree. So we've talked a lot about streaming and getting into gaming and stuff. I usually, before I get to kind of some of the other questions, I always ask this on every one of my podcasts. I don't know if there's a backstory behind BillyG0at, but where did that kind of name originate from, and what's kind of the backstory on that, if there is one?
main backstory is my name's Billy,
Mhm.
and I like goats. So and BillyG0at was not an option. Twitch wouldn't let me have it. They reserved
Mhm.
it for somebody. That's they literally, if you go to like just BillyG0at on Twitch, it says we don't know them yet, but I'm sure they're great. Like, and like I remember
They
like
just
that wasn't
rob
a
you.
thing. Yeah, it's like so I did I am BillyG0at, and then I am BillyG0at. It's funny is I couldn't do I am BillyG0at, so I'd make it a 0 instead of an O, and the actual, like, person who owns I'm BillyG0at always
Mhm.
comes into my streams being like, "Hee hee, I still have this username." And I'm like, "I know."
Yeah, that's
I was
toxic.
like I was like I was like, "But it's funny," like, they're a member of the community, which is so funny to
Yeah.
me, and, like, it's really cute now, but it's
Yeah, it's
like, they'll
cool.
come in and be like, "Still have it," and I'm like and they're like, "And I don't stream," and I'm like, "I hate you, but I love you." Like, that's not even, like, the name I'm going for, like, hopefully
Yeah.
one day I can have just BillyG0at, but I'm happy with where I am, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I mean,
But yeah, that's just it.
that's the same thing with like Feeds XD. Like obviously Feeds is freaking taken everywhere, and so I have to
Yeah.
come up with other selections like, Feeds Mindset and Feeds Reacts and Feeds Plays and Feeds XD. I can't get Feeds
Yeah.
anywhere. This sucks. It stinks.
Yeah, the good thing for mine is, like, luckily, no one else had thought of I am BillyG0at with a 0 yet, so it's like it's literally the same handle on all platforms.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. So it's very easy for people.
Yeah, yeah, and I think
That's it.
on that topic, I think that's really important. In your opinion, is it important for you to have the same handle on all your stuff?
I think it's easiest as you're growing. I
Hmm.
think once you're larger, and you have, like, a very well-established platform, I don't like, people are gonna look for you anywhere, like, when they search your name, you're gonna be prioritized,
Right.
even if someone does have the other one, but, one of my thing is, like, if you're growing, you don't have to have a cool name, like, you could literally be like, "Banana Hammock 69," and, like, and make sure that that's your tag on all socials. That way, when people do look for you, but like can't remember, like, oh, like which one is it? Is it I am BillyG0at? Is it BillyG0at plays? Like, is it
Yeah,
like this? Like, all they have to do is do I'm BillyG0at 0. Even for like gifs of me, they can literally
yeah,
search I'm BillyG0at with a 0. There's all the gifts that people make of me. Like, it's like very easy. So it's like even if I can ever change my name, I don't know if I will, just because
really.
it's super easy. Like, I think I was very mad at first when I didn't realize, like, I really want this name, but Twitch won't let me have it. Like, now I'm grateful because I'm like, literally, people can search me wherever, and it's probably going to be the first one that pops up.
Yeah,
Like, if it's just put my handle in wherever you look, even like I said, like even like tenor, like gifts, like it's gonna pop up, and it's nice. It's easy
yeah.
for them.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely agree. That's why I wanted to bring it up because the
Mhm.
most common one I would say is like COD lobbies or CS:GO lobbies and stuff. Like a lot of people, like
Yeah.
you'll be really skilled and you'll hit a really nice clip or whatever. And be like, oh, you're so sick. Like, do you have Twitter and stuff? And you're like, yeah, my name on everything. It's so simple and no extra
Yeah. It's
conversation,
super
no extra stuff.
easy. Yeah. I say I'm Billy Goat with a 0. That's it. Like, super easy. It makes it really nice, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would say for anybody that that is kind of getting new into streaming and stuff, it's something that I would definitely tackle on now if you don't feel like you've really had your start yet, because it's definitely a lot harder to tackle it later than it is now. Like
Mhm,
if you're in the middle of growing and then you have a thought process change, that could really mess things up.
mhm,
So yeah. So we've talked, of course, about the streaming and about the gaming and stuff. So you've been streaming in the streaming space for probably, you said, like a little over a year now, and you've been in this, in the gaming space for quite some time.
yeah,
So just a couple questions I usually ask everybody that's on the podcast. For newer creators, there's a lot of people that probably could be some of the greatest people we've ever known, and they've not even went live yet. There's a lot of people that are afraid to go live, and they don't have the best setup or equipment, or they don't feel like nobody's going to watch them, or they don't know how to go about it. What advice from your experience would you give to new creators wanting to get into it, but they're not sure about streaming?
I think the biggest advice I would give is the advice someone gave me was, y whether you have a camera or no camera, if you like watching Twitch streams, and if you yourself are playing a video game and you already talk to yourself, just go live. Like, I'm someone I talk to myself 24/7. Like, I was already doing it regardless. Like, I was basically, like, streaming to myself when I
Yeah.
played with, like, the commentary I'd give myself. So it's one of those things, like, if you something that's gonna make you happy, just do it, dude. You don't have to have like, I literally started on a laptop that sounded like an airplane taking off with my Xbox and, like, a scuffed, like, Elite controller, like, with literally a camera that was when I showed my community, we, like, looked at old clips because someone brought it up. They
Yeah.
literally mentioned it, and they all made fun of my camera, and I was like, "Listen, like, I know it was bad, I know it was blurry, and I know it sounded really bad because you could hear my laptop in the background." I was like, "The thing is, like, people aren't there for to see the video, they're there for your personality and what you
Right.
say and, like, the impact that you make. So if you think you make a positive impact or, like, be a new addition, just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean you can't do it and you can't succeed too. So just try. Like, you don't have to have the best stuff. That'll come in time. Like, it'll in due time.
Yeah.
But you can't if you spend thousands of dollars to or save up money for the best stuff, like, you're just gonna keep delaying yourself and you might even miss that time slot that you need to be pushed. Like,
Yeah.
you never know when your opportunity is gonna be. It could literally be a random Monday at midnight or a random Thursday at 6 in the morning that you go live, like, you just never know. Like, just go live. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I
Like
definitely agree, and I think like with my first ever YouTube video that I did, you'll never be able to find it now, like it's private and stuff. But it was like when I was like 15 years old, I copied
mhm.
I literally copied it like word for word a YouTube video for GTA 5, like the briefcase that's under the water you can go and grab, and it'll give you a little bit of extra money in the story mode. I had a shoebox on top of a chair, had the shoebox,
Mhm.
an old shoe facing this way with the iPhone 4 in the front of the shoe pointing towards my TV screen, and that's how I was
Yeah.
taking my YouTube videos and stuff. And then
Mhm.
like when I started streaming, I had my PS4 and I had the PlayStation camera on the top of my freaking 50-inch TV. Why I decided to play on a 50-inch TV, I don't know why. But I
Yeah.
had a big old, PlayStation camera, and then I actually bought this like Chinese like USB converter for my PlayStation
Mhm.
that allowed you to have a couple extra ports. So on the normal
Mhm.
PlayStation 4, I think there's like two, and this one had five. So I had like my mic, my
Mhm.
headset, and my camera and speakers and a few other
Yeah.
things. And it was just a small little like 20-30 buck investment for that extra ports to kind of have a bit more variety on my stream. And Black Ops 4, when that came out, that was definitely the game that skyrocketed like who is feeds. Like
Heck
obviously
yeah.
now, like most people know me as like my podcast or my personality, and that's what I want. Like now, like that's what I want.
Mhm.
But back then that wasn't me. Back then it was hitting clips and being crazy, and it's feeds back out of the lobby. Like that was me back then, and I'm grateful for it. It was sick. It was a cool time. But now that's not at all who I want to be. But because I added those little tiny things to my setup that I was able to afford, that you could go to like a Five Below store or something and get just a little small camera or something from. I mean, it
Mhm.
makes immediate changes, and I think
Yeah.
it's like there's like some type of analytic for it's like the first like 10-15 seconds somebody's watching you. That's when they decide like are they going to stay or are they out. And you
Yeah.
don't have to have a bunch of equipment and stuff, but if you're able to, great. If you're not, and if you don't have any equipment or no face cam or nothing, you just have to be a creator. You just have to
Mhm.
be yourself, and say hi and welcome them, and just
Mhm.
act like they were one of your friends and they were just interested
Yeah.
in what you're doing.
Also, just I feel like what a lot of people don't do is they try to be like other people too much, or like they have a
Hmm.
favorite creator they want to be like. And I feel like so many people have a disservice to themselves if they go live and they're trying to be somebody else, or they're trying to be like a certain personality, or like try to
Hmm.
be really loud when they're actually really shy, like you can
Yeah.
tell. And like I feel like some people like super miss out on like who they can be as a creator, all because they're trying to be something else that they think people want. But in
Yeah.
reality, like you're really just trying to like separate yourself from everything, be like, this is why you should watch me. This is why my
Hmm.
personality is what it is, and create that difference. But of course, if it's false, people are gonna know. But most people
Right.
are they have a unique something about them that makes people watch them, and people don't lean into it enough. And
Yeah.
it's truly a disservice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's very true. And I mean like for like small little videos or TikToks here and like things like that are funny to mimic other people, but definitely like if that's your mainstream is you're going live and you want to pretend to, just normal names like Sketch or Jinxie or whatever else, like if that's your
Yeah, it's like
like you're just
popular
trying to be like
content.
that, it's like
Yeah.
it's funny, don't get me wrong, it's funny and it's comical, but that's not going to get you
Mhm.
anywhere because you're just impersonating people that's already made it. And so it's like it's
Yeah.
not even in that sense of like growth, it's just kind of a if that's what makes you happy, that's great. But if your
Mhm.
objective is to grow and to do better, that's not getting you anywhere.
Mhm. Unless that's truly your personality, then do
Hmm.
it by all
Right,
means. If
for
that's
sure.
truly you, then you'll be able to people will know it's truly you. But too many people just don't do that, and just like I did that at the beginning. Like I was like, I'm gonna be a cozy gamer. All my friends are so cozy. I'm not cozy. Like I'm not. All my friends were cozy streamers, and I'm like I'm the loudest person I know. Like and like me trying to be like cozy, like not too much. Like I was like very like enclosed even like my close friends because I was like, well, I don't want like someone to come into my stream and like I don't know, like me scare them. Like it's not even
Right.
that I wanted to grow, it's just I didn't want them to think I was a fucking weirdo. And
Yeah.
then the second that I was just comfortable and like it literally was like 9 months ago, like comfortable being myself, everything changed. Like it was like literally everything changed. Like there's not one thing that stayed the same after I was like, fuck it. Like if I say dumb shit, it's gonna happen. If I
Right.
don't, cool. But usually it's dumb things and people relate to that and they'll feel more comfortable talking to you as well if you're not hiding, if you are being vulnerable with everybody with what you're thinking, how you're feeling, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, of course. Like if you're a bad person, keep your stuff to yourself.
Right.
But if you're a good person, just be yourself and say what makes you laugh. They'll
Yeah.
probably laugh too.
Right, and I definitely think that's also something big that a lot of people are really focused on not being offensive or oh this may come off the same way or whatever. But I
Mhm.
think it just depends on your personality. I mean, if you say something wrong, it's all about your tone and your reaction that sets that tone for how that was perceived. And there's going to
Yeah,
be
or
people that's
you
going to be
didn't
able to
mean to
tell
hurt
like you didn't mean to
somebody,
say that. You
please.
know?
That's what I'm saying. It's like if you accidentally like hurt someone's feelings or if you say something that's wrong, own up to it. But also,
Hmm.
I was mainly talking about the points of like be outgoing, say what you want, unless you're a
Right.
piece of shit, then stay in the closet. Like
Right.
be a piece of shit somewhere else, not on a platform.
Right. Of
But
course.
like if you're a good person, you can literally be unfiltered and just be yourself without no like because then you're not going to offend anybody. Like as long as you're
Yeah.
a good person, you can literally have no filter, say what's ever on your mind, and it's gonna show. Like I literally say everything that comes to my head,
Hmm.
and it's luckily I'm not a piece of shit. Like it's so like it works out. But
Yeah.
like if you are like someone who does it, obviously like they're not gonna. I mean, or they're just gonna get viral for the wrong reasons, like we've
Right.
seen. But
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, but those
yeah,
people will always get, what's coming to them, and that's kind of another big
yeah,
thing too, not to get caught up in the moment for people that, you feel like they don't deserve it or whatever. Like just focus on you. And,
yeah. It
if
doesn't
they don't
matter.
deserve it, they won't get it. I think that's kind of another important topic for other people that get kind of caught up in the moment.
I don't care. It's if you're not me, I'm not worrying about you.
Yeah.
It's I don't have enough time in the day to care about what other people are doing.
Yeah, 100%. So, on the topic of for newer creators and stuff, and this doesn't have
Mhm,
to be for new creators, anybody watching, everybody struggles with some sort of, mental health, whether you're just, worried about your
mhm.
content, you got a lot going on in life, you're streaming a lot lately and you're burnt out on the games that you're playing. What advice would you give to creators that, feel burnt out and they want to take a break, but they don't want to lose everything that they've gained and they feel like nobody will be back there for them or, oh, they've lost the passion or whatever? Like, what advice would you give them for people that want to take breaks, but they feel like they can't?
If someone came up to me, like, say if I had like a friend, for example, and said, "Hey, like, I really need to take like a month off, but like I'm afraid my community won't be there," then that's not your community.
Hmm.
Like that's the easiest way to put it. Um, I full heartedly trust that. Say if I need to take, which I have, I've taken a week off in the past few months or taken time to myself, and if people don't come back, then that's not on you. You're not gonna. You can't control what other people do, but if you don't take care of your mental health first and foremost, you're just hurting yourself. Like I full heartedly know that like the people that do enjoy my content and do enjoy watching my live streams, they're gonna be there. They will. If you lose a few down the line because they're mad you took a break or they got bored because you weren't there, they're not truly a part of your community yet. And I just I don't like that mindset.
Hmm.
I really don't. I don't believe it. I'll never believe it. If you have to leave for however long, the biggest example, literally recently, is I know this is on a big scale, but
Hmm.
like Sweet Tails.
Hmm.
Sweet Tails left for almost a year, like
Yeah.
nine
Yeah.
months.
I've seen all that go down. That was awesome.
Came back stronger than ever. Like it's because like people who are in our community, they'll always believe they'll always be there. And I get she's like on a bigger scale, but her
Hmm.
comeback was massive. But it's because people truly love and she gives her all to her community at like the right level.
Right.
And I don't believe in that. I don't
Yeah.
believe in them not coming back. Like I said, like there's not part of your community and you thought they
Yeah.
were, or they're not truly your friend and you thought they were. If they didn't respect you taking time to take care of yourself, and if that's the case, then I wouldn't want them in my community anyway. If they talked badly upon me needing to take time for myself, because then
Yeah.
I'm not being genuine to them. If I want them to take care of themselves, I have to take care of myself first.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I fully agree with that, and I think my advice on to kind of bounce off of that would be, if you take a break and let's say you do come back and you're expecting your community, blah blah blah, and let's say they don't show up, I would just
Mhm.
continue to stay on that break and figure out what you could do differently and other people you can reach out to and stuff and just kind of understand that it's not your fault. It's not your fault that they're not there. Everybody has things going on and struggles that they have to deal with. So it's important that you always put yourself before anybody because if you're not okay, it's hard to try to help other people and be okay. It's two and two. You have to be there for people and you want them to be there for you. So you would never want to make a connection with somebody that you feel like if you're going through something, or if they're going through something, you would want to be able to DM them. You just want to have that energy. Just be uplifting and just be positive.
I kinda disagree with what you say, in all
Hmm.
honesty, 'cause you said take a further break if they're not there when you come back, or maybe you
Hmm.
misspoke or didn't mean
Yeah.
to say it that way.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you say, for example, you have, like, 20 viewers before you break and you come back and there's only 5, but if you're in a good mental returning,
Yeah.
I
Right.
think it
Right.
depends. Yeah, I think more so you meant, like, if you come back and it negatively affects you.
Right. Right. Most definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool, yeah, 'cause the
Hmm.
way you said it was like, if you come back and they're not there, continue on their break, and I
Yeah.
was like, I feel like
Yeah. It came out
it's
wrong. That's on me.
no worries, no worries. That's why I was like, wow. That's why I was like, I don't think he meant to say that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like, you're truly healed and like you can come back whenever, like, if you go live and there's only 5, cool. If you go live and there's
Hmm.
50, cool. But it's like, as long as you're not focused on that aspect of it, like, just go live if it makes you happy. I feel like
Yeah.
too many people try to force it when they're not feeling good. And as long as you're feeling good about yourself and you love yourself and you're ready to give your all to yourself first before your community, then you're all set to go. Like,
Yeah.
fuck if there's 5 people versus 100. Like,
Yeah.
as long as you're having fun, do it.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the thing that sinks, the stigma of like, oh, worrying about numbers and stuff. I've always hated that. I always hate people
I don't
focusing on
care.
numbers
I
and how
have them
many
off
people they
at all
have.
times. I literally never know my view count, ever.
Yeah.
Like, even on raids, I have it to where it doesn't, like, say like, I have, like, my song playing. I don't even know how
Hmm.
many raiders come in. I read who comes in. I never look at the number of how many came in. I treat them all the same, whether it's 1 person raiding or 100 people. Like, it's just it doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't. Because the thing is, even if it's, like, a big raid or something, that doesn't mean that they're gonna like your content.
Yeah.
Like, just treat them all the same, but you never know. Someone coming in with, like, 2 viewers, you might retain those 2 viewers rather than someone coming in with 200 that was playing a completely different game than you. Like,
Yeah.
you just never know, or completely different personality. Like, people worry about numbers way too much instead of just doing the reason why they started streaming in the first place, which is just to create connections and meet people. Like, that's
Right.
kinda it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think another important thing too, like even if it's somebody like you don't know, like that happens pretty often. People just finding random
Mhm.
people to rate, and
Yeah.
even though it may be two viewers for them, you may make their day. You're sitting there dancing, you're just vibing and having a
Yeah.
good
Like,
time.
you
And like
never
that may make their
know.
day, and they're like, "Oh, like I'm so glad I decided to rate this person." It could change their
Mhm.
day. So I think that's definitely super important for other people too, because it just
So
helps
many
them.
people
It's
have, like,
just
a
uplifting.
stigma too. Like, there's so many streamers who I cannot tell you how many times, like, I've been rated and God, like the worst thing that ever happens with like anyone who raids, even like one viewer, this set, even if like you've been in my community for 6 months, if you make any freaking comment, which like this is my biggest pet peeve as like a
Hmm.
streamer, if anyone in my chat makes a comment being like, wow, like huge raid, like mocking it, you're timed out for 10 minutes. If you
Right.
come back and you're mad at you're timed out, you're banned. Like I protect my space, I protect my community because like we've been there. Everyone's been there.
Yeah.
Like, if you start off with 100 people, great for you, but it's very rare. Like, if you start off with that, like, everyone starts somewhere. It doesn't matter if it's been 3 years or 1 day. Like, protect your space, protect your mindset. Because if you start worrying about how many people are coming in with the raid, you've already lost it. You're already doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, no, 100%. I definitely agree, and it's good that you maintain that. I think that's another important thing too. Not even in the fact of who's rating who, but the person that you're choosing to share your community
Mhm.
with. It's important that you
100%.
hold your own community accountable. And again, not like in a negative way, but it's like that
Yeah.
could be affecting whoever's rating you, and so you
Oh,
just always
yeah.
want to leave a positive experience. You never want to give somebody a bad negative outlook,
No.
even if it's just a bad egg in your chat. If you have one bad person that you just let kind of be in there and make their jokes,
It
that
opens
sets the
the
tone for
door.
you. You know.
Yeah, it opens the door too for other people to be disrespectful, or even like make too far of jokes. Like even if
Hmm.
like they're your best friend, like I've had to talk to some of my friends, being like, "Hey, like I know we make this joke, like, and it's nothing like being mean, but it's like going like a little bit too far, like picking at like things about me or about me being bad. Like the jokes about like, oh, like you're trash at games. Like only takes one person saying that, a mod or a VIP or someone that's been subbed for 12 months is saying that they think it's okay, and then opens the door for other people to say
Right.
negative things about you or someone else in your community. And as long as you have like a positive space and your communities represent you how you would hope they would, um, you're just gonna keep attracting great people. And it's like contagious. Like if you go into a chat ever and their community is just super toxic, I know I don't want to stay there.
Yeah.
But if I go into a chat and I don't even type yet or even say hello or hi, like I lurk a lot. But if her community or his community or their community like is super positive, I'll stay way longer.
Yeah.
And then if there's being awful, like it's just not a good environment.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's just kind of one of the smaller little simple things. Like a lot of people look over. It's just simply your chat. Your chat could set your own tone for you, and even that could be the whole topic of it's going to be your next best friend or your next opportunity, or your next
Mhm.
sponsorship or whatever. Like your chat could be the whole reason that goes away and stuff. So it's very important, and
100%.
you always want to make an impact. You never want to leave any type of negativeness out there because there's already so much already. There don't need to be no more.
Mhm. 100%. Yeah, 100%.
So one of my last questions that I have here before we wrap everything up, and
Mhm.
is of course for everybody, networking is perceived in a lot of different ways. Everybody kind of has their own opinion on how networking because it's different for everybody, and especially for the women gaming community. There's a lot of ladies out there that I see that want to go live and they're struggling, making friends or clicking for whatever reasons that they have and stuff. So it doesn't specifically have to be for the women community, but people in general that just struggle, trying to make friends and connect. And I don't want to go live because I got nobody to play with. What kind of advice would you give for them?
Just women in general starting.
Sure, yeah, if that's what you want to.
Well, I think I was confused by the
Oh, you.
question.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay.
Just like in general, just
Okay.
people that struggle,
Yeah.
trying to make connections and networking and playing with other
Oh
people. Like
yeah.
how
Um,
what advice you could give to help them try to find new people to talk to and chat with?
just keep being you. Honestly, like just especially like as like a female, like if you're looking for people to talk to, like, and maybe, like, weird to say, but, like, if
Hmm.
someone ever comes in and you are, like, a woman or a femme or female that is
Hmm.
streaming, even if they're your one extra viewer when you first start, but if they're being weird to you, just ban them.
Yeah.
Just do it, and I think once you set the tone for that, even if they were your one viewer, as soon as you set the tone for that, it's gonna set the tone for yourself, and it's gonna open the door for more positivity to come in. But too many people make the mistake, especially females, make the mistake of they have people come in and they're growing and people are being creepy to you and it might make you uncomfortable, but like they're your viewers, like you don't want to lose them. But like in my opinion, get them out. I don't care if they tip you $100 and but they're being a freaking creep. Get them out. Like
Yeah.
say thank you so much, non-refundable. But like you're out. Like
Yeah.
don't keep anything for no reason because like the second that you start letting that kind of like we just talked about, second you set the tone like that, it's gonna create more positivity to come your way and allow you to network. But also when it comes to like, the networking aspect, I don't believe in the whole networking thing. I
Hmm.
more believe in like look for people with common interest, watch their streams, like take positivity, like actually create friendships that play the same game as you and make friends. Like so when people see like another gamer or streamer come into their chat, like again we talked about earlier, see as like competition or like they're looking for
Hmm.
something. Most people are just looking for friends. Like if you're true and genuine, like most people are just looking for friends, create friendships. And then in turn, you'll have a safer space and you'll be protected more in this space. But yeah, I don't like the whole networking thing. I don't.
Yeah.
Like I like making friends. If I wouldn't hang out with you IRL, then I'm probably not gonna do a collab with you. Like I'm probably not gonna like give you my time. Um because like it's just not about networking. It's about just making friends and doing your best and just keep doing that. Like it's so many people are so afraid to try to make a friendship or be like, hey, like, or join their Discord. If it's like I made so many friends just because like they're really cute. I like their personality. I'm gonna join their Discord. I'm not gonna even tell them that I stream or that I
Yeah.
plan on streaming one day. I just want to play games with them offline. Like they play Stardew. I'm gonna play Stardew. They play Overwatch. Like maybe they want to play offline. Like it doesn't have to be about the networking or growing. Like, but in that genuine connection, it'll help them grow of
Yeah.
course, in the turn, but that shouldn't be your goal. Is in like, because networking means like kind of like ladder climbing.
Right.
and that's fucked up. Don't do that. That's
Mhm.
gross. But, like, there's so many good ways to do it. Just make friends.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much that's how I started, you know. I just like we was talking about Final Fantasy 12 earlier, it was one of my favorite games. That and the Fallout series. I loved playing all of the Fallout series and stuff, and I would do that a lot. I would go on Twitch, I would open up that specific game, I'd click on the
Mhm.
lowest viewer count so I could watch people that are, you know, not all crazy and stuff. And I
Yeah.
would just go and I would tap into a lot of people. There's a lot of friends that I have just by doing that, just by watching
Mhm.
them play games that I have an interest in, or people that like, especially like a big thing for me personally, like people that do kind of allow backseat gaming. Like some people just kind of want help and want
Mhm.
direction and want to learn how to play. And I
Yeah.
would love doing that. And like, oh, you're on this quest. This is what you need to do to get there. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. And like, that's the stuff that
Yeah.
I love
It's
doing. And that's how I
genuine. It's
started.
nice. Yeah. It's just too many people forget about that. Like, the main core of what streaming started as is coming together, creating communities, like, I don't care if you like what size you are, like you should always like as long as you're playing with a friend, that's all that matters. They don't have to have like 5 million people watching them or like whatever
Yeah.
social thing. Most people really don't care. They just want to make friends. They want to play games on or offline. Like and that's just the biggest thing that people don't realize that no matter what size someone is, like I think the biggest thing, like, opened my eyes to this was, like, Winnie, like, her name's, like, Winnie the Pooh on
Hmm.
Twitch, but, like, she's, like, a big sister to me. I remember for so long, I wanted to play games with her, but I was like, "No, like, I'm streaming," but I remember thinking, like, I don't want her to think that I only wanna play games with her because I stream and I want anything from her, so I didn't tell her I streamed for so long. I was just in her community. I was just in her
Yeah.
community, and I was there, and, like, it and one day I played games with her, and it was, like, the best thing ever. Now she's, like, one of, like, my closest friends.
Yeah.
Same thing with, like, my other friend, Sabella, like, as long as you go in there and, like, you're really trying to make friends, like, the growth will just kinda happen because like, you're making friends and, like, you all stream, so you all have, like, a common ground to talk about. You can vent to each other about the creeps that come into your chat, and, like, you can also share ideas and, like, collab with other females, and, like, it creates, like, your own little bubble of, like, a safe space where it's like, now when I look at all my friends, like, I have a ton of guy friends that stream, but, like, the people I talk to in, like, my close community of, like, streamers that I hang out with, we're all streamers, we're all, like, just girly pops that hang out, like, we have,
Hmm.
like, wine nights and, like, movie nights, and if you grow cool, but, like, just make friends, like, it's just it happens. Then all your friends are friends, all your communities are communities, and it's just, like, this beautiful place that you can create, um, that's just, like, not just your safe space, but, like, your own community safe space too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And
yeah, I
it's
feel like more
it's
people should do that, and they
Yeah,
don't, they
definitely.
should.
And that's it's kind of a little small thing you mentioned before we end off here. My last podcast I just did with Hoffy, we actually had a pretty good talk about that, about you know, specifically for the women gaming industry and stuff. And a lot of them, you know, there's a lot that don't get together and play a lot, and it's awesome to see. Like there's I can't remember off the top of my head all their names, but there's like a little 5 stack of girls that go and play COD, and they'll be shitting on everybody and talking so much trash and just hanging out in all
Yeah,
their communities collabing. And it's just awesome to see. And a lot of people like
cool.
take it really weird. And I think all that kind of stuff is just insane because it's just awesome to watch them all create content together and just be happy, chilling out with one another, just feel safe and just
Yeah.
be comfortable. That's what it's all about.
100%. And also, if you feel comfortable and like say like you're with your friends and stuff, it also say if like you do go on a break and need somewhere to go, it also gives your community a safe place that they know,
Yeah.
okay, this is Billy's friend. She's not even live right now, but like I'm used to watching her at this time, but she always talks about like Sabella, she always talked about Winnie or Becca, like all these different people that they can check out as well. If you're not live, or say if you just need a day to do your thing, and like say you're hanging out and your friends stream on your day off, your community's also there, and like they can also just like have a good time. And it's a missed opportunity. Some people just
Yeah.
don't do because they see it as competition, and more people should really just do it. Just make friends.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Yeah, I
I
definitely
think.
agree. Just make friends. That's all you got to do.
Yes, make friends, it's not hard, it's not hard. You have common interests, you both play video games. You
Yeah.
both play the same game or different games, but different in like, same interests. It's making friends in the Twitch space is so much easier than people make it out to be,
Yeah.
as long as you just be yourself. As long as you're not pretending to be somebody, you'll make friends real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Well, Billy, it's been awesome being able to talk to you and have this wonderful long conversation with you. Before we end off on everything, is there anything that you have coming up that you're excited to share with anybody?
My main thing that I'm working on right now, one is my dual PC that's gonna fix all my problems. I can play shooters again. I have Boston coming up, so PAX East. I'll be at PAX East, which I'm so excited
Oh,
about.
that's sick.
I'm meeting like God, I think it's like 50 plus of my friends that I've met online
Yeah.
are gonna be there, so it's like crazy. And then also, I'm trying to beat Eldering before the end of March. If I don't, I'm taking 6 eggs to the head because I made a dumb promise, and it's already mid-March. So,
Dang.
and I haven't beat the 30 eggs.
No
But other than that,
progress.
it's not going well. But those are pretty. Yeah, there's a lot going on, a lot planned, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, well, that's sick. Definitely take pictures and share them and stuff so I can see whenever that happens. I'd love to go to one of those events one day. I've never been to anything like
So
that,
yeah.
but yeah, it's every time that anybody talks about, like, I never see any negative things from events that come. It's just
Mhm,
always cool, fun pictures and everybody hugging and taking their pictures and
mhm,
doing little fun, silly stuff. It's sick. It's awesome.
mhm.
Well, before we end everything off here, for everybody watching, Billy, is there any last words you'd want to say and leave to anybody before we end off here?
Just stay cool, stay sick, don't be weird, and make friends. That's kinda it. Yeah.
Words to live by the Lady
Mhm.
BillyG0at. But yeah, I
Yes.
appreciate your time, of course. Thank you so much for taking your time and hanging out with me and having this conversation. It meant a lot, and I'm just blessed to be able to be here and just have this conversation with you.
Hell yeah, same dude. Have a good night.
Alrighty, well, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Feeds Mindset, episode 41. Please go check out Billy on her socials. Her Twitter tag is below her head. In the description is all her links and everything. Go please check her out. And thank you guys so much for coming by. My name is Feeds, and we're out, guys.